Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast. All the things we did not get to during the course of the show today, and including a disagreement, an argument that Betty Rock and I had during said show today that almost forced the closure of the show.
Okay.
Yeah, it was bad. Gavin was in the corner crying. He's like, I hate it when mommy and daddy fight.
I don't even remember it, to be honest.
Oh, you blocked it out? You suppressed it?
Like I was, at some point, there are some points when you guys start to volumize up your worlds, and then I stop listening.
Yeah, that's a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
Did you have that in your own family?
No, I'm living a good life over here.
Okay, well that's good.
I don't need y'all's drama.
You're scared. I understand.
Oh, was it the chairs?
It was the chairs.
It was the chairs.
The chairs.
The chairs. Okay. Now, feel free to comment in our potty group on this.
Yes, and you can join our potty group. That's where, I mean, if you like what you hear on the Aftercast and you want to join with other like-minded people, text the word potty, PODDIE, to 91979, and we'll send you the link to the Facebook potty group. But yeah, comment on this and tell me who is right or wrong.
I feel that I will be vindicated in this. Here's the deal. I have bar stools that I was going to take to Goodwill. I offered them to Betty and Gavin first. Did we talk about any of this on the
I don't
Aftercast?
think so.
Okay. So I just need to know how much I have to reset. So I have 4 bar stools. We got new ones. These are in perfect shape. My wife just wanted to go a different direction. And she's been on bar stool hunts for years. And so I'm like, hey, Gavin or Betty, do either of you want these bar stools for free? You can have them. And both of them were like, no, we're good. We don't need them. So, okay, great. And so I said, well, I guess I'll just take them to Goodwill then. Betty Rock loves to make money off Facebook Marketplace. And she's like, no. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, well,
because there's nothing wrong with them.
No, they're great. And I said, well, okay, I'll give them to you and you can sell them and we'll just split the proceeds. And we kind of negotiated back and forth and we ended up at a 70-30 split. Betty Rock getting 70%. Mm-hmm. So that was the plan. I'm going to take them to her house. She's going to sell them from her house, do all the work, get 70% of the profit. Right there, I have zero problem. I am on board. I'm good. Betty Rock then changes the parameters of the deal today. She comes in. First of all, she's like, her first offer was, how about I put them online and then you have people come to your house? I'm like, that defeats the whole purpose. I don't want to talk to anybody.
Well, it would already be scheduled. It would already be, the money would be done. Like, all they got to do is you put those chairs in your driveway. They pick them up and that's it.
Yeah.
You literally do not go out of your home.
Yeah, I don't know. And I didn't feel like doing that. And so I'm like, that defeats the purpose. So she says, bring them to work then. I said, you know what? That's fine. I'll bring them to work. And she's like, somebody can come here and pick them up. I said, good. You're still doing all the work, 70-30. And then I said, well, you know what? You could save yourself work posting them if I bring them in here and you go around the office and ask if anybody wants them. And if that's the case, then we'll just split it 50-50. You know? Yeah, that was her reaction. And I'm like, what do you mean? What's wrong with that?
Because you wouldn't have even had that idea had I not fought for the chairs, okay? If I hadn't fought for the chairs, you would have had nothing.
Yeah.
You would have taken them to Goodwill and lost money.
Here's what I want you to do.
So if anything, you should be giving me 100% and thanking me.
I want you to post them online and get an interested buyer and then find out how much you're going to make, and then I'm going to set them on fire.
I think that you test run it. I think you give a test run to the strategy of bringing them here.
Yeah.
And then you selling them and then people picking them up here. I think you give that a test run. If it's weird and if you run into the situation where somebody is like fighting and is like, oh, no, I don't want to pick them up then. I'll pick them up here. And they make it a big deal out of it. Then maybe you try the building.
I think the building's the easiest option, though.
Yeah.
Because you literally could walk upstairs. But
that loses her more money.
But it makes her 50%. I could bring them here and go, hey, do you want these?
Nothing.
No, I brought them here.
Well, that's what you're going to do at Goodwill.
You would have done.
Why does it matter?
You would have done nothing other than
like
walk
a 33
upstairs.
Split? Can I join this?
Yeah, you want in, Gavin?
Yeah, 33% split. Let's do it. You come in and then try and sell the chairs in here.
You know what? I would rather give Gavin 30% than you 30%.
Oh, wow.
Because the thing is that you're literally doing nothing. Okay. I saved you. I am actually getting you money.
Here's what we should do. We'll treat it like
you're acting like I am a horrible person.
We'll treat it like a sales department, and everybody in this building is basically cold calling. Whoever can get to somebody first and sell the chairs inside the building, Gavin or Betty, you will get 90%.
No,
if you're Gavin.
you
How much are we
cannot
putting them up
change the
for?
rules. You can't change the rules. You are so. You know what? This is more infuriating than
Jake.
actually selling things on Facebook Marketplace.
Is it really?
You are the
Are you
problem.
texting Jake right now?
I think Jake's going to be
Jake
my
could
favorite.
use some. I would hit Kaylee up if I were you, Betty.
Yeah.
Go for it. I don't care. I have lost interest. It is dead to me. But I swear to all that is good and
Yes.
holy,
Oh, my.
if you get the money,
Yeah.
I am going to be livid because it's not right.
I know. I'll give you 100%, Gavin, if you sell them here in the building. So anyway, you can weigh in. I thought a 50-50 split for selling them in the building where you don't have to do all the headaches of people on Facebook Marketplace is fair. But like 70-30, she's dealing with more crazies, and so you get a little bit more for it. So we'll see how it shakes out. It was just a very interesting conversation. Betty Rock, I told her this during our fight. I said, I would love to see you own a business.
Yeah.
Because I
so
think
good.
you would be a complete boss queen. Like you would be that boss that's like when someone complained about something, you're like, oh, let me see if I can work this out with you. Get out of my store. Like that. Like I could see you would be so unbendable on the rules
You
of
think?
things.
I don't
Oh,
know if I
yeah.
would or not.
I think you would.
I'm a peacemaker, believe it or not.
You are.
I'm just not here.
Yes, but then when it comes to money, you are not. You are very, very like protective of that, you know, and
As I should be.
no, I respect that. No, I'm not.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you?
Not with
Because
this
it doesn't
attitude.
sound like it.
I am telling you, I'm giving you a compliment here, but I think you would run a business better than I would. I actually would be more accommodating because I'm like, all right, fine, like give it to them. I don't care. I'd rather not deal with it, the headaches of it, and if it gives them a good experience, fine. But you would be like, no, you're taking advantage of me. Absolutely not. Where's your car? I'm going to burn it down. Like, yeah, that's what she would do. Honestly, that's how I see it. Okay, so there you go. You can weigh in on that if you want to become one of our insider potties.
That's potty to 91979.
I am curious about this. I found this today. Do you or do you not refrigerate your ketchup when you have opened it? Betty Rock.
I do.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel weird if I don't. I also
Absolutely.
refrigerate my peanut butter.
Oh,
That's weird.
that's different.
That is weird. Yeah, peanut butter I don't refrigerate. Ketchup I definitely refrigerate.
Salad dressing?
Definitely. Gavin?
it's
No,
not.
definitely on the ketchup. I don't really, and it's weird because they sell it. They sell
In
it
packets.
in packets,
Right.
and it's not in a fridge at
Right.
the commissary or at the grocery store.
Yeah,
But-
once you open something, I think, oh, you got to put it in the fridge.
Yeah.
But
Some
like
stuff,
when you
yes.
go to there's this place called Maniacs. It's like a really good chicken finger place over here, and they just have bottles of ketchup. And you take your own bottle of ketchup to the thing.
Oh, that's true.
Restaurants never refrigerate them; they just sit on the table, you know, and
you
they
trust
could
that,
be
don't
months
you?
old,
Yeah.
you know. But to settle the debate, Heinz is saying that yes, you actually should put your ketchup in the fridge, and they're like the ketchup people. I mean, that's what they do. They're
What
known
else do
for
they
it.
do? I mean,
Who knows? Who cares?
And they're experts at the topic. So
Yeah.
you would think, I can trust them.
Yeah, I think that,
I can trust Heinz with my ketchup.
and I think it would be amazing to go through somebody's pantry to see what they don't refrigerate. Eggs. I refrigerate eggs, and other people leave eggs on the counter.
Yeah, and I had my cousin, she would leave butter out.
We do that now.
That's weird.
I know. I get it. But like,
It's weird.
we'll take like a stick of butter and we put it in Tupperware, and it stays room temperature. It doesn't melt, but it is really soft. So when you go to spread it, it spreads like
I get
spreadable
it.
butter, but it's so good.
I know, I get it, but it's just weird.
I always thought the same thing. I agree with you. I was like, this is crazy. And then I've never gotten sick, and it's so nice. Because regular butter on a bagel is so much better than the spread butter. It's night and day different.
Yeah.
And I'm very passionate about it. So
Of course you are.
I'm passionate about everything. Amazon Prime Day coming up July 11th and 12th. We've been on an Amazon Prime Day discovery today. Because Betty Rock, you are Prime, right?
Yes.
Gavin, are you Prime?
I think we are, but we don't really take advantage of it.
If you think you are, then you are not.
Oh, probably
fully,
not then.
Yes.
Like we're not. Yeah, it's not in my whole heart and soul.
Yeah, like I love Prime and I love getting stuff in a day and no shipping. Anytime I'm buying anything, if it doesn't happen to be on Amazon and like I'm buying like a part for something and they're like, okay, it'll be there in 5 to 7 business days and it's $9 for shipping, I get so angry.
I know, they've spoiled us.
They really have. They've ruined us for other products. But that's coming up. You can find good. My wife is already talking about this. She was like, "Oh, Prime Day's coming up." Ooh, I'm like, okay, so it's coming up. You don't have to buy anything. She's like, I know, but they really do deep discount certain things.
They do.
Like they have an iPad they're going to be selling, and you're going to save $79 on it, which for an iPad is a good deal, $249, because iPads aren't usually on sale. Like Mac never puts them on sale. And then a lot of their Amazon products you can get really cheap. Like if you've wanted like one of the Echo Shows, which is their screen version of the Alexa, where you have a screen and it can do photos that rotate. Like that's what we have on ours. And of course, my wife got a Mickey Mouse holder for it.
Oh, so cute.
I think we got the show because she liked the holder. I'm not lying, because we don't really fully use it. But we've been talking about those today, and Betty Rock seems like she's going in on some of this stuff.
I am, because I'm going into a different life situation, and because of that, I might need a few things from Amazon. And so I've been making a list, because when that day comes, I want to be able to just say click buy.
Yeah.
And it's done.
Yeah. And you like to save money, which we established earlier, which is true.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And so, yeah, there's electronics a lot of times they have decent deals on and discounts on. So I like that stuff. I got on the smart light switch tear today after you were talking about it with Pastor Chad, because I have 2 things of outdoor lights automated, and I love it. They come on and off. I can control them from my phone. I can control them from my Alexa. And I'd never thought about putting lamps on that. But then, because most of my lights are like can lights, and I found out you can use switches that you wire into your wall, just replace the existing switch, and it's a smart switch as well. And so you could literally tell your Alexa to turn on your kitchen lights, or you can set them for when you're gone, the timers, and you can change it and stuff like that. And so people think you're home. Because we used to have mechanical timers. Do you guys remember these things?
Oh, yes. My parents
With the dial?
had dial. Yes.
Yes.
We had them.
Most confusing thing, it's a dial, and you have little plastic pins you put in, and so you have a white pin and a red pin, and you would plug your lamp into it, and the dial would be like tick, 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 and when it would hit the red one, it would turn it on, and then it would tick 4 hours or whatever it's set for, and then it would hit the other one, it would turn it off. And it was the weirdest thing. I still have 2 of them sitting in my garage.
What?
We used to use them like at the
Why?
current house we're in. We've been in that house for 9 years, and we used to use them for when we were gone. Why?
rid of them.
I know why I haven't upgraded to these other light
Yeah,
switches.
that's dumb.
They're like $20 and easy to put in. It's ridiculous. I'm ridiculous. So that's going to be my new next home project, is doing some light
Yay.
switches. So anyway, Lady Rock, what do you got?
Well, I've got a dentist who his video went viral because he had surprising things that destroy your teeth. Maybe things that you didn't even realize they were.
Like we know coffee does. And I've had a ginormous coffee today.
Yes.
Feel good.
So cough drops. Cough drops are bad for your
I would
teeth
never expect that.
because they're full of sugar.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Cough drops are?
Yes.
I would not have thought that.
Now, I think you can get sugar-free ones, but they're full of sugar, and 2, you suck on them and you keep them in your mouth for a while, so it gives the sugar more time to latch on to
your teeth. Burst, yeah.
and it can cause cavities.
Huh, I would have never thought that.
Another one is whitening toothpaste.
That seems like it's defeating the purpose.
Well, he said that it doesn't actually whiten your teeth, so you're spending more money for something that actually doesn't do what it's supposed to.
So how does it damage your teeth, though?
Well, I guess it breaks down the enamel.
Oh, because it's got abrasives in it or something, probably. I've seen like charcoal toothpaste and stuff, too.
Turns your teeth black.
Yeah. Have you seen that new purple stuff you put on your teeth? Basically, the idea is that purple and yellow, I guess, negate each other. So if your teeth are yellowing, you put this purple paste on them and then you wipe it off, and it I don't know if it's permanent or not, but it turns your teeth white because of the science of just color. And so I'm curious if you constantly have to put that stuff on, or does it change the color over time?
I have a friend of mine that she's got a charging teeth whitener thing that she puts in her mouth.
Does it work?
I don't know.
Well, if you don't know, I mean,
I've never
does she have
paid
good
attention
teeth?
to her teeth.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you
I
have
should
really
be.
white teeth.
Do I?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you do.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think most girls do have really nice teeth.
Guys have.
Yeah.
We're the ones with the bad stuff.
I have one of the Sonicare toothbrushes. I finally broke down and bought one of those because my dentist told me.
Drool?
Yes, I finally have figured it out. How I have to do it, the angle my head has to be at up, and like how I do it and how long and stuff. But like they're like, my toothbrush has two settings. It has a clean setting and then has a whiten setting. I'm like, oh, what is a whiten setting? What's that going to do? Let's trigger that. And I start reading it. So basically the way you use the Sonicare is you treat your mouth like in 4 quadrants. And so it goes 30 seconds on the top left, 30 seconds top right, bottom right, bottom left.
I've heard
30
that.
seconds each. Okay.
2 minutes.
Yeah, so 2 minutes. And you're like, okay, so what does whitening do? Does it do another pattern? Does it shake things up? Does it put some ultraviolet in there, something like that? And it's like, and if you want whiter teeth, click on the whitening thing and it does an extra 30 seconds. Like, that's the whole thing.
Oh.
It just makes you brush your teeth longer. By that time, I'm sorry, the toothbrushes are so small. You have such a limited amount of toothpaste that goes in there.
Yep.
It evaporates. It's all drool. Like, it's the weirdest thing, man. Yeah. So,
Well, I'm glad to know that.
yeah. I don't know if you need one. Your teeth are already great. You don't even need
Thank
one.
you.
So
Thank
don't
you.
even worry about it.
We have a new segment on the Aftercast.
Okay.
I had asked our potties, we did one yesterday. I asked our potties, hey, you know, Wally likes to rant and you seem to like him when he rants. So we have the new ranting series.
Oh, I have a medical condition, all right. It's called caring too much, and it's incurable.
I would like to point out that I am in such a good headspace today. I'm not angry
Well, you're
about
about to
anything.
go down.
I
Yeah,
know.
why are
This
we
is
doing
you.
this?
Yeah, this is you. Like, I'm in such a good head. I'm in a great mood.
Listen, I don't like it. I don't like it either.
Yeah, but you're
the
dragging
people-
me into
no,
it.
The people ask for it.
This is your fault, for the record.
Once again, we asked our potties on our Facebook group. If you'd like to join, text potty to 91979. That's PODDIE. This is an idea from Emmy.
Okay.
Emmy said she'd like to hear you rant about people who call their pets their children.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, yes.
And proceed.
That didn't take long. This drives me absolutely nuts. When people say, oh, my dog-ter, like instead of daughter, they'll be like their
your
dog-ter.
dog-ter.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, we're just dog parents. You know, we're pretty happy about that. I just love my dog. They're like my kids. I can't go 8 feet without having them attached to me. Unbelievable. They're dogs. They're animals. They're great. They're great. They're good to have around. But like, you don't need to drag your dog to Home Depot unless you are like in serious need of a medical
Wait
pet.
a minute.
What?
What if, like, I have a friend of mine, she doesn't have any children. She has 3 dogs.
Yeah.
And she loves those dogs.
Sure.
Do you see it differently in that case?
Maybe a little differently in that case because that is the substitute for her. Maybe does she want kids?
No, she
Then
never
no.
really felt
Yeah,
like
then
that
no, I
need
don't.
for them.
Like if she needed kids, like wanted kids, and then she never, her life didn't go that way, then I get it. You're like, okay, these are the kids I'm pouring my life into. I get it. But it's at the end of the day, it's still something that eats its own poop. You know, like I just.
What if it's like a senior citizen couple? Like I've seen these, and they on a walking path, and they have a little stroller, and you're like, oh, they have their grandbaby.
No, stroller dogs, no.
That's not real.
God made dogs to be able to walk farther
What if it
than
has
you and fast.
arthritis?
It doesn't matter. They are still a dog. They are still in bed. Even at their worst, even with 3 legs, that dog is still in better shape and more capable of walking longer lengths than humans are. Even corgis with tiny little legs, dachshunds whose bellies drag on the ground. Like they are made to walk, not be carried. Every dog I've ever seen in a baby Bjorn looks miserable. Looks like, I hate this. I want to run.
What if, let's say, a married couple, brand new,
Sure.
and they're like, we don't want children just yet, but we're going to adopt a dog. I know so many of my friends that did that.
Yeah.
And so then eventually they do have a baby, and that baby and that dog, they bond and they grow up together. It's
No
a
problem.
beautiful thing.
That's
they even
great.
get professional pictures of their baby with this dog.
Okay, fine.
Now, they consider
Yes.
that dog a family member.
Okay.
Is that wrong?
No, here's how you test it. You put the baby in a room, like by itself. You put the dog in a room, in the house in a different room. So they're in separate rooms. You light the house on fire.
Whoa.
And then you see who you save. Who do you go to? That's your child. Not the thing you don't go save is not your child. That is the disposable thing. Whatever it is.
That is a horrible thing.
I'm telling you.
To say and do.
It's reality. What are you going to do? Or what are you going to save? And you can't save both. You can only save one. What do you save? You, of course, 1,000,000,000% save your kid. 1,000,000,000 times over. You miss your dog, you love your dog, but you save your kid. So there you go. It's not your kid. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this has been...
I have a medical condition, all right. It's called caring too much, and it's incurable.
It is incurable. I was in such a good headspace today. Why do you do this to me, Rock?
This isn't going to help either. You want to go to birthdays?
Sure, I'd love it.
Okay, we've got a birthday. Jeremy, he's celebrating his birthday today. So happy birthday, Jeremy. He says, always trying to change my perspective on things in a positive way. I think that is very healthy, Jeremy.
That is very healthy. Why do you listen to this show?
Well, and also, too, we even talked about this in my first news from today. If you check out the podcast, there's a 102-year-old woman that was giving life advice. And one of the biggest things was to have a positive attitude. So good for you, Jeremy.
I get that.
I'm questioning, though, where you get your advice from, because Jeremy is coming to us and he's asking Wally.
Oh, good.
How do you move on from loss in a healthy way?
Oh, boy.
He's lost some people in his own life and he's found it difficult. So how have you moved on?
I think somebody else is going to have to really feel this for constructive advice. Betty Rock, have you ever lost anyone really close to you? Like, you still have both your parents.
Yeah.
You didn't really know your grandparents.
Thank you, Jesus. No.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, everything else.
What about you, Gavin?
Have I lost grandparents?
You have both your parents.
I have both my parents.
Did you ever lose a friend?
I've lost a friend. I've lost not like a friend that was somebody that was like, somebody in my life at the time. There was somebody a few years ago that passed away that I had been friends with, so it kind of hit in like a regretful kind of way, but not in a, oh my goodness, like I've lost someone from like an impact on a day to day.
This is a hard thing for me because like I've lost, my wife and I together lost her mom, then her dad, and then I lost my dad. Mm-hmm. And I don't process things the same way. I don't live in regret. I don't live in the past. And maybe it's the narcissist in me or just maybe it's the healthy thing for me. Like my wife lives still with not even regret, but missing and longing. And I just want to talk to my mom again. And it's more prevalent in her mind. Like, I don't think she ever really closed the issue. For me, there are moments where my dad comes up and floods my mind. And I'm like, oh man, I would love to share this with him. And I get sad and I cry it's not that I don't care, but I don't spend every day in it. It's like I'll have those moments and I'm like, and I see them for what they are. And then I go on with life. Like I'm a real big proponent of moving forward.
But what gives you peace of mind on those days to help you move forward?
I think it's just how I'm wired. Like I have that moment. And then it's like, okay, next. I'm a very okay next person. Like I can have whatever it is, whether it's joy, whether it's anger, whether it's remorse, whether it's sadness. I can have that moment, and then in the next breath, I'm like, I'm ready to go. And so I'm probably the worst person to ask that kind of advice of.
I know that from my parents' experience, they've lost both of their parents. And I know from them, talking to them, one of the biggest things was focusing on the good memories you have with that person that carries you through the hard times, and two, just being thankful that you had them in your life and thankful that you actually do miss them. There are some people that have if they've lost someone and they're like, okay, good riddance, but to be thankful that you actually miss someone is a blessing.
I've always told people that the more it hurts, it's a good thing because that means how much that person meant to you. If it doesn't hurt, then they didn't mean much to you. And so when it hurts, they meant a lot to you. And that's actually honoring them. And it's a good thing. I think for me, like, I don't think back to my dad when my dad was sick. Like, because he kind of withered away because of his illness, and that was hard for me to watch because he was always like, kind of like my hero and the strong man that I looked up to, and so to see him. And he fought to the end, but his body gave out on him. And so I think that was hard for me. And so when I remember him, I don't remember him like that. I remember, I have a picture of him in my office, of him with headphones on, his aviator headphones, and he's flying a plane. And that was his joy. And I remember those things of him. And that keeps me from being locked in sadness. If I sat there and just thought of him being sick, it would be sad. If I thought of Marty's mom or her dad, her dad died in our house. If I thought of those moments, then I would be like really sad. It's interesting and I haven't ever told Marty this, but like when her father passed away, it was like 3 a.m. and she had been sitting with him and she came in and it was, such a bad day. And she was like, maybe this is why I don't remember this stuff because it's sad. And she was like, she's crying like almost hysterically. And she's like, I think he's gone. So I had to go in and make sure he had passed away. I've never been in that place before. Like, here we go, new territory, because before we'd always had hospice when different people had passed away. And so it was like, you're in it, now. And so I go in it. But then she came in and I'm like, yeah, he's gone. And obviously she's crying and stuff. And I don't know why. So she's there like grieving and hugging him, and I took pictures of her and with him and like her last moments with him. And that was the thing. I didn't know if that was and she doesn't know. I didn't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing. I'm like, I don't want to miss this in this moment. So one day if she ever goes, gosh, I just wish I had that minute with him and just a photo of him the last time. I've got it.
Right.
I
see.
I wasn't like paparazzi. Yeah, I'm like...
But she has no idea that you took those photos.
Exactly.
And you're kind of just waiting to see if she organically comes onto a thought that she wants to see that someday.
Right, because there's no way I want to go, hey, do you want to see some pictures of you and your dad when he died?
No.
Like, because she lives in that grief, and like there's no way I would ever want to hurt her by that or her go, why would you do that, But I, in the moment, again, this is new territory, man. Like, I've never walked through this before, so I have no idea what to do.
Do you think, though, that, you say she has her bad days about thinking about her mom and her dad. Do you think that she, like you were saying, you don't like to think about your dad being sick. Do you think she does think about her parents being sick, and then that leads her down into this?
Yeah, she does. Pit? She carries a tremendous amount of guilt over her dad's death because she was his primary caretaker. She went down to Florida, took care of him for 4 months. She lived there. Then we brought him up here during COVID, and he lasted 3 days here, and then he passed away. And she thinks that moving him here and her giving him all this extra morphine or whatever it was he was on, like she in her head thinks that she basically, ended his life sooner, and I've tried to tell her a million times, this was the path it was on. This is where it was going, regardless of where he was. And I'm like, you loved him to the end. You loved him well. You served him. And that was hard for me. See, again, this is why I don't live in this place. It's not fun. And so she carries that guilt, and I wish I could take it away from her, but the only one that's going to be able to deal with that and process that is her. And until she sees it one day that she did love him well, she took care of his pain at the end. And so he went peacefully, and that's one of the best gifts you could give anybody, because
there's not a really easy way to make the end a good process. But I think
hospice
that
does a really good job. I'm telling you, man, like I've been so amazed the few times we've dealt with hospice, and every hospice is different. They all have different, chapters and different places. But boy, we've been so blessed that the ones we've had have been so good. Except for not except for the one that was with Marty's mom was like, they're like, we're having like Thanksgiving dinner, and we're all out there eating, and she comes and gets us. She's like, it's gonna be any time now. And we're like, how do you know? She's like, well, her feet are really cold, and it's that time, and so we all go in and we're heartbroken, all saying our goodbyes and sobbing and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And then Marty realizes the window's open and it's November and her feet are cold because they were out from the blanket.
Oh, good grief.
That's dumb.
Yeah, like
that's hilarious.
Her mom hung on like another 3-5 days, something like that.
Gosh.
Like, oh my goodness. I'm like, and so then when they tell you, okay, I think it's this time, you're like,
Check
really?
the
the windows closed?
Yeah, exactly. Are we going through this again?
Are you feeling her feet again?
I can't do this twice.
That would actually be pretty lame. To sit there and think, because you're already in that headspace if they could go.
Yeah.
And then you get to the edge.
Yeah.
But the edge is not real.
That'd be a great reality show of people that are horrible at their jobs.
That would make the cut.
A scripted reality show of like messing people up.
Yeah, hilarious.
Oh, so good.
So
all right.
funny.
Well, there you go. I don't because I don't want to end sad.
That.
I don't want to end sad or angry like you tried to make me do today.
Yeah, it's my fault.
I know.
Yeah, what a bipolar Aftercast.
It was, but a good one. So there you go. That's going to do it for your Aftercast. Thanks for being a potty.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.